I'll just quickly reiterate for the few people that have just joined now. We're going to go through in 3 stages. Number 1 is I'm going to recite, you'll repeat. Males can unmute themselves, females will keep themselves muted. Number 2 would be I'll give a short explanation, 10 to 15 minutes, on the most common mistakes that I've been hearing over the years. And number 3 would be you have an opportunity to recite, and I will correct your mistakes, bi'idhnillah. So shall we get started? If you can write on the chat if you're ready to get started, and we can do so. Okay, so I'm going to recite, and I want you to listen carefully and repeat after me. Brother Junaid, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, brother, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, I'll let you start. Bismillah.
Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Sorry, but shall I copy the ta'awudh as well, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please. So what is it?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Excellent. And if you don't mind, am I okay to correct your mistakes whilst we go along?
Yeah, please, brother, please.
Excellent. Okay, so let's start again. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
الرحمن الرحيم.
الرحمن الرحيم.
مالك يوم الدين.
مالك يوم الدين.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
InshaAllah. JazakAllah khair on all of you for participating. Obviously, there's 2 things about studying Quran and Tajweed. Well, there's many things, but when you come to this sort of angle, there's 2 things. One is listening, so listening to your teacher and listening to others' mistakes, and number 2 is obviously the application. Sometimes people, they end up spending too much time learning the theory without actually putting it into practice, and this is a common mistake that I see. And number 2 is the flip side is you're not practicing as much as you should be. So inshallah, these lessons will be on a monthly basis for sure. Inshallah, we'll try to do it every 2 weeks, and that's the other thing. It's about repetition. So you're constantly joining these sessions, every 2 weeks, once a month, but you're keeping that connection and you're seeing your improvements, and every time you'll be learning something new, inshallah. Brother Junaid, JazakAllah khairan. you're a lifesaver just because
Amen.
the yeah, if there weren't no other brothers, then it'd be difficult for me to sort of follow in that aspect. So JazakAllah khairan. What I'm going to do now is talk you through a few of the common mistakes that we hear when people recite Surah Al-Fatiha, and then towards the ending, we have Brother Muhammad. Are you there? If you can unmute yourself, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, good. Good. So at the end, brother, if you'll be okay to recite to us, and I'll be happy to correct your mistakes if that's okay. And
Yeah,
we'll
that's
learn
okay.
from
I'll do
them.
it for inshallah.
Perfect. And same for Brother Junaid, inshallah, at the end. So I'll continue with the explanation. And you can feel free to ask questions. So I don't want the sisters to think that we just sort of we've left you out. I'm very happy that the majority of our sisters, in the sense that it shows that you have an interest, a keen interest, and it's for me now to encourage the brothers to sort of fix up, because it's all about the interest, right? And as I said, it's about the guidance and the ability from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So feel free to comment in the chat box, whatever you feel, if you have any questions, and we'll definitely go through them, bi'idhnillah. So in terms of A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, there's two things. Number one is around Tajweed, and number two, there's also the style. So as we go along over the weeks and over the months, I'll also start teaching you certain styles, which, if you do the style or not, it's not a mistake. But it does make your recitation to the highest level probably in the world, because most people, when they recite, just how they've been taught, without any thought towards the meaning. But this particular style that I intend to teach you over the months is a style that's directly connected to the meaning, and which is therefore directly connected to something called tadabbur, which is then you can sort of reflect on what you're reciting. And this is the highest level of recitation, which is very rare in the world, but one of my aims and missions, and together we can achieve this, as I teach you, then you teach others, is to bring this, make this widespread, bi'idhnillah. So when we say a'udhu, don't say a'udhu, is a. So in the Arabic language, we have a, I, u. We don't have well, we do have but we don't have a'udhu. So we have when it's stretched, but we don't have it when it's quick. So we don't have a'udhu. It has to be a'udhu. And then we have the dhamma on the ayn, so we round our lips. So any letter with a dhamma, which is the rounded symbol on top, for example, you can see on the screen alhamdu, that is known as a dhamma. Some people in the subcontinent it's known as bish. You have to round your lips. So keep this in mind for the rest of your recitation now. And whenever you recite by yourself, your lips have to be rounded. You can't say a'udhu, it has to be a'udhu, a'udhu. So you practice on that, inshallah. A'udhu billahi. Many people say billahi. We have to say billah. So when we spoke about ad-dhamma, we said we have to round our lips. When we speak about al-Fatiha, we have to open our mouth slightly. So you don't say billah, we say billah. Okay? A'udhu billahi. Billahi. The kasrah, the sort of secret to it would be, you slightly widen your mouth. Okay, we don't need to go extreme, we don't sit there saying, a'udhu. Obviously you can't see me now, but you don't need to go extreme, but these are the little things that you can sort of keep in mind to then help your recitation get to the higher levels. So, a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Minash shaytanir rajim. This is coming on to the style that we'll slowly be teaching you. Why am I not saying a'udhu billahi minash shaytan all in one sort of style? I'm saying minash shaytan. This is the style. When you have harf jar, min is one of the huruf al-jar, meaning one of the prepositions, is like min basically means when we speak it, we don't say I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan. Yani we're putting a bit of emphasis. We're not just saying I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan as if we don't care. We're saying I seek refuge in Allah from the shaitan. We're not too happy, so we say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Okay, so this is the style I'm talking about, and you'll start to understand as we go along. But we're not just being monotone. We're not just being monotone. We're sort of taking into account the meaning. The sisters just mentioned, repeat after harf jar. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is, I'm not saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim monotone. I'm saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Generally speaking, on the huruful jar, which are the prepositions, we'd make a slight emphasis, and here we make a slightly more emphasis. Why? Because min means from, and we're saying I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan. From shaitan. We're not saying I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan as if we don't care. And you'll start to learn so many things like this, bi'idhnillah. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Minash, the sheen has a tashdid on top of it, so we have to hear the proper sh. When you tell someone to shush, we have to hear the sheen properly. Minash shaitanir rajim. Don't say minash shaitanir rajim. I don't think that's that common, but ta is the strongest letter in the Arabic alphabet, therefore it has to be made clear. Minash shaitanir rajim. Don't say rajim, cha. There's no cha in the Arabic language. It is jim. Minash shaitanir rajim. I hope that makes sense. As you can probably realize, this is not a one lesson. It's not a one-hit wonder. You join this lesson and you just learn everything. And this is why the intention is to make it every 2 weeks, where you'll constantly either be picking up something new, or you'll fully solidify your understanding, and after time you'll end up being some sort of expert as well. So can we have questions, please, in terms of what I've just explained? Can we have some questions or thoughts?
But it makes sense what you said. I was going to say, at the beginning you said A'udhu billah, the alif. Could you just do the correct way and the incorrect way again, please?
Okay.
A'udhu.
So the correct way would be quickly and abruptly. I would say A'udhu, A'udhu. The incorrect way will be A'udhu, A'udhu.
A'udhu.
Yeah. So if you repeat yourself, please.
I think I'm going to probably say incorrect. It's A'udhu.
Yeah. So you've slightly improved, but yeah, there's a little bit of A'udhu. So it's A'udhu.
A'udhu.
Yeah. Exactly.
A'udhu. A'udhu.
Excellent. Quick and abrupt. No stretch.
Okay, and the bit the billah, did you say was could you do the correct and incorrect way for that, please?
Sure. So I think you made this particular mistake as well.
Yeah.
You're saying billahi la. So la is, there's no air in Arabic. So it's either a, e, u. So as in a, e, u, and when you're stretching a, e, u, not air. So the incorrect way is billahi, and it's known as majhul, meaning it's passive. It's passive. It's you're not active. You're not actively saying the word. So you're saying billahi. What we have to say is billahi, billahi.
Billahi.
Correct.
Billahi.
Billahi. This mistake. Look, I don't want anyone to start because what people have mentioned to me before. Well, I remember there was this one particular individual sent me a message once, and after one of the lessons, and said, I have waswas, you know, I don't know if my salah has been accepted because I've been reading wrong and this, that in salah. But I don't want anyone for a second to think that, you know, these are major mistakes. What the aim here, and that's what I'm saying, we're going to do this regularly, is the aim here is to over time become an expert. But these are not major mistakes. I'll mention to you what the major mistakes are when we come to them. But none of anything that I've mentioned here in A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim is not a major mistake. So I don't need to worry about it. It's completely fine. But obviously, we've joined this lesson, you know, on a Saturday morning to improve ourselves. So, Brother Junaid, nothing to worry about, inshallah. How would you pronounce the shadda on the So the shadda number one is the small W symbol that we have on top of the letter Ra. So Bismillahir Rahman. Sorry, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Ar-Rajim has the letter Ra, and on top of the letter Ra, we have something called the Tashdeed, which is the W symbol. Any letter with a Tashdeed, and keep this in mind because this will be a theme throughout Surah Al-Fatiha. It comes many times, Iyyaka na'budu, for example. Keep in mind that the tashdeed, any letter with a tashdeed must be read twice. Okay, so we can't be hasty, we can't be haste on top of a letter with a tashdeed. We have to take our time on it. We have to read the letter twice. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is this particular question is around how would you pronounce it? So we would say Ar-Rajim. Ar-Rajim. I'm not sure if you've heard that properly, but we would say Ar-Rajim. There's a slight repetition on the, so that's the question from Ishraf. Is rolling or vibration allowed in Ra Shadda? Here there's a different, it seems like some of you on some high levels as well asking these questions. But you know, when it comes to the vibration, I would say the stronger opinion, just because it is the opinion of Imam Al-Jazari rahmatullahi alayh, is that yes, there should be slight vibration, not extreme. You know, we don't come and say Ar-Rajim. You know, we keep it moderate. But there is another opinion, which is that you know, it's Ar-Rajim without any vibration at all. But I follow Imam Al-Jazari's opinion, and so do in terms of my teachers, I would say 4 out of 5 teachers follow this opinion as well. In terms of all this, you know, opinions and you know, what's correct and this, that, number one is don't get too much into it. You know, there's no need for us as students to get into all this kind of stuff or even talk about it. You know, we what your teacher says, you follow, khalas. And number two is that the base principle is iqra'u kama ullimtu, which is read as you have been taught. So, you know, if I'm reciting, so as I said, 4 out of my 5 main teachers prefer the vibration. So with the 4 of them, I recite with vibration. With the 5th one, you know, out of respect and, you know, that's the way he's taught me, I would recite without vibration. It's not, you know, it's not like I have to start teaching him, oh, my other 4 teachers have said this and this is the evidence. You know, there's no need for all this, and, you know, you shouldn't waste your time on all this. We'll continue to what's on the screen, alhamdulillah, which is the Basmala. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now here we have 2 things that have joined, or that are connected with A'udhu, the ta'awudh, which is, we had A'udhu Billahi, here we have Bismillahi, so same principles apply. We don't say Bismillahi, we say Bismillahi. And we have the letter Ra with the Shadda, so we ensure that we recite. You know, as I say, I personally follow this slight vibration ruling, so I would say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And a few other common mistakes here would be ba. So instead of B, we say Bismillah. We should say Bismillah. The scene. This is a mistake that I just got corrected on a couple of weeks ago in Masjid al-Nabawi with one of my teachers. You know, sometimes the scene, you have to have the proper whistling sound. As I say, I don't need to, these are high-level mistakes, or we're trying to get our recitation to a very high level. And I don't want anyone to, feel demotivated after this session. The aim here is to join on a monthly basis or on a 2-weekly basis. So over time, we'll improve together. And that's why I'm just throwing everything out there, but I don't want you to feel demotivated. It's just for you to think about for now. And then over time, you yourself have your own targets. You say, okay, this session, so for example, in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to just focus on A'udhu and Bismillah. And then for the next 2 weeks, I'll do the next 2 verses, for example. But anyways, a sin, a sad, and a zai are huruf al-safir, meaning they are the whistling letters. And therefore, the whistling sound should be made extremely clear. So for example, sin, we should make extra effort and we should say Bismillah. Bismillah. You can hear the whistling sound. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Another mistake on the letter Ra would be some go to the extreme of making it sound like a wow. The Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is incorrect. Keep an eye on that. We'll move on to the verse. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. We don't say alhamdu. Allah is incorrect. We say alhamdu. Alhamdu, the letter dal has the dhamma, so my lips are rounded. Lillahi, this is the third time we can apply this mistake. If we were making it, which is a'udhu, not alhamdu lillahi. We can break this into two. So first we're saying alhamdulillahi, we're saying all praise is due to Allah. And then we're saying Rabbil Alameen, we're basically explaining Rabbil Alameen is the sifa, the description of Lillahi, which is Lord of the worlds. So that's why, for those that have studied Arabic or studying, why is it Rabbi? Why is it Majroor? Because it is sifa of Lillahi. Why is Lillahi Majroor? Can someone answer quickly in the chat box? Why is it Lillahi and not Lillahu or Lillaha? Sorry, I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. We're talking about Arabic grammar, but as I keep saying, this is a long-term process that we just want to learn. Yes, it's harf jar. Oh yes, correct. Yeah. So li, and the word after it will be kasrah, majroor. In this majroor, therefore kasrah in this particular instance. So we say lillahi. So alhamdu lillahi, not lillahi. Rabbil alameen. Rabbil alameen. The letter ba has a tashdid, so we say the letter ba twice. We don't say Rabbil Alameen. We say Rabbil Alameen. And the secret to perfecting the letter with a tashdid is enter strongly and leave lightly. So I'll explain. Enter strongly meaning Rabb, leave lightly mean Bil. Rabbil Alameen. Rabbil Alameen. This is how you sort of master that. Rabbila is incorrect. There's no qalqala, meaning echoing sound. We say Rabbil and Rabbil Alameen. Don't say Alameen. Rabbil Alameen. Alaman, man is incorrect. It's me. Me is a kasra. We have to say it clearly. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. This is the same as we discussed in the Basmala. So Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, we don't say Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. That's incorrect as well. I just want you guys to just keep in mind the symbol. You can see my cursor, yeah? So the symbol on the end of every verse. So just keep it in mind, because usually we'll stop for sure, but I've learned the hard way with one of my other teachers, which is that, there may be a place where we stop our whole life, but if someone asks us to continue, we wouldn't know what the symbol is. So here, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, and then Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'inu, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqima, Waladdallina. Keep this in mind. This is important. If you're seeking ijazah, for example, the teacher at some point has to request for you to join between two surahs. So al-basmalah bayna as-suratayn. So how do you do it? So imagine, you've always read waladdallin, and you come and say waladdallini bismillahir rahmanir rahim. This is embarrassing. Or, for example, teacher tells you to continue on nasta'inu ihdina as-sirata, and you say nasta'ina ihdina as-sirata. So just keep this in mind. Maliki, me is incorrect. Ma, and this is a common mistake that I'm coming to, which is, you'll probably even go for Jum'ah Salah and your Imam will make this mistake. Now, again, we're not here to look down on people. But I'm just saying that this is extremely common, like I hear it all the time, is reciters not reciting clearly the key, the kasra on the key, on the kaf. So many would say Malik Yawmiddin is very unclear. Malik Yawmiddin, as if it's a sukoon on top of the kaf, as if you joined it to the li, so you said Lik Yawmiddin. Very clear. We say Maliki Yawmiddin. Yawmiddin, yo is incorrect, it's yaw. Maliki Yawmiddin. And we have the tashdid again, so Yawmiddin. Do we have any questions up until now, please? Okay, let's move on. Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, yeah. Iyyaka na'budu. Iyyaka na'budu. Iyaka is incorrect. Could you please talk about the correct way to pronounce it? Ad-dal. So the tip of the tongue, so the letters ta, dal, ta, are all pronounced from the exact same place. Ta, dal, ta, which is the tip of the tongue touches the gums of the upper two front teeth. Ta, dal, ta. So could you please talk about the correct way to pronounce dal? I think that's what you're trying to ask, which is the way to pronounce it. Tip of the tongue touches the gums of the upper two front teeth. If you start rolling your tongue further back, you'll end up saying dal, dal. Okay, which is incorrect. So just keep that in mind. And could you please repeat about the joining of words with another ayah? The main point around that would be is we may recite a certain way our whole life. So we may stop on Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. But the point that I made is just always when you're reciting, just see what symbol is on the end of each verse. Because if the instance ever came where you had to join, you'll be joining correctly. Or if your teacher asks you to join, you join correctly. And I've made a few mistakes recently with one of my teachers, where he's very he's quite he's got his own style when it comes to where he likes you to stop and where he likes you to continue, and it's all based on the meaning and his understanding. So, for example, he mentioned to me in Surah Taha. Are there any huffaz in this lesson? Please mention if you're hafiz or hafidah. But basically, what we have is in Surah Taha, there's a verse. وَلَا تَنِيَا فِي ذِكْرِي, and the verse ends, and then it's إِذْهَبَا. And if you continue, you have to say وَلَا تَنِيَا فِي ذِكْرِ إِذْهَبَا. So you're completely omitting the letter ya. So these are all small things. So basically, for Surah Al-Fatiha, as you can see, you have Al-Alamina, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahimi, Yawmiddini, Nasta'inu, Mustaqima, Dallina. There's a complete mix. So you have to know what the symbol is on the end of each of every verse. We move on. Iyyaka na'budu. Tashdid, we go in strongly, we enter lightly. So we say Iyyaka na'budu. Don't say Iyyaka too much, like Iyyaka, as if you'll end up saying some sort of jim. Iyyaka. That's extreme. We keep it casual as well, to a certain extent. So we say Iyyaka, Iyyaka. Na'budu, this is a major mistake that I want to outline to you guys. So a lot of people say Iyyaka na'budu wa na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. This is a major mistake. Why? Because they're adding the letter waw after the letter dal. So you're saying na'budu wa you're stretching where there's no waw. There is a waw, but that's wa. Waw fatha wa, that's something else. That's another word. But if you say na'budu, then you're basically reciting dal waw dhamma du, like maghdubi. You're not saying maghdubi, you're saying maghdubi. Why? Because we have the waw which is joined. But here there's no waw which is joined. There's no waw with a sukoon. So you have to say it quickly and abruptly. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. Okay. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. Some people have had say nasta'in, something like that. The sin into sad, ta into ta. Please keep this in mind. We move on. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Common mistake is ehdinas, it is not it is ihdina, ihdina, if I say by itself, ihdina. Don't say ihdina. So we have the difference. We have the letter ha, which is from the middle of the throat, and we have the letter ha, which is what we have here in ihdina, which is the bottom of the throat, closest to the chest. So you should sort of feel something right near your chest when you say ihdina. That's where the pronunciation comes from. It's not ihdina, which is the middle of the throat. For example, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Please keep that in mind. Ihdina as-sirata. As-sirata, sad, ra, ta are all heavy letters, as in the ra is sometimes heavy, sometimes light, but in this instance it's heavy. So therefore sad, ra, ta have to be recited full. So we don't say, the complete opposite would be if I said ihdina sirata, sirata. So every letter I've made empty. We say ihdina sirata, heavy, and ta is the heaviest letter in the Arabic alphabet. So we sort of make that slight distinction. I don't need to worry about that for now, in fact. But the main thing is everything has to be heavy. Okay, mistake, nun is not heavy, right? Nun is not a heavy letter, but because one is joining into a heavy letter, many would end up saying ihdinas sirata, no. But that's incorrect. We say na. If we said it by itself, we'd say ihdina. We wouldn't say ihdina. So when we're joining as well, we have to keep the noon as it is. We say ihdina sirata. We don't say ihdina. No, we say ihdina sirata. Al-Mustaqim, because one has become excited over reading these three letters heavy, they'll end up reading all of these letters heavy as well. In they'll say Mustaqim, Musta. This is the opposite. Now we have Sin and not Sod, and we have Ta and not Ta. So we say Al-Mustaqim, the Sin, Huruf al-Safir, the whistling sound, Al-Mustaqim. Qaf is heavy. Al-Mustaqim, but don't say Quim, Quim, with a wow. I used to do this as well. If you hear my recording from 15 years ago, it's very embarrassing because I'm saying Mustaqim because I'm trying to make it so heavy that I've ended up adding a wow. But with a kasra, you just keep it as it is. Al-Mustaqim. I know there's a few questions. We'll come back. And the final verse, which is صراط الذين صراط الصراط. These are all heavy letters. صراط الذين, not لذين. الذال, الزاي are two different letters. So, they shouldn't be mixed up. And the pronunciation, the makhraj are different as well. الذال is the tip of the tongue touches the bottom edge of the top two teeth. And الزاي is the tip of the tongue touches the top edge of the bottom teeth. So this is completely different, opposite things. صراط الذين and not الذين. أنعمت, look carefully, we have Hamza and then we have Ayn. So one should not say أنعمت, two Ayns, or two Hamza, أنعمت, or swapping the two, so saying Ayn first and then the Hamza. We don't say أنعمت, we say أنعمت. And don't say أنا عمت, أنا, that's wrong. أنعمت. عليهم, لا, this is majhul. We've mentioned a few times that there's no a in the Arabic language. So we don't say عليهم, we say lay. أنعمت عليهم. And غير المغضوب, غين is a heavy letter. So we make that clear. We don't say gay. We say غير المغضوب. غين الغين الضاد, heavy letters again. So غير المغضوب. الضمة on the ضاد. So we say المغضوب. My lips are coming out rounded. If I said المغضوب, do without rounding my lips, then it doesn't sound right. It sounds majhul again, which is passive. Passive, basically, what I'm trying to mean when I say majhul, I mean, you could say it's the lazy way. We're not making effort. We're just saying al-maghdubi, do. It has to be active. So alayhim ghayril maghdubi. And a lot of the mistakes I see come from, with all due respect, laziness, meaning we're not making that extra effort. We're just reciting, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. No effort. So the extra effort has to be made. غير المغضوب عليهم, again, عليهم, incorrect, عليهم, ولا الضالين. الضاد is heavy, so I say Allah, and then we stretch for 6 alifs. So I stretched Allah, about 6, okay? And then the lam has a tashdeed on, I'm not sure if you can see properly, but it has a tashdeed on top of it. So we have to join to the letter before, right? So we don't say ad-dallin. It has to be joined. And to show the joining properly and to read the tashdeed correctly, we stay on it for a split second. So listen carefully. We say وَلَا الضالين. I didn't rush. I stayed on it for a split second. I hope that made sense. And I hope all is clear. Please present your questions and then we'll finish with the recitation and correction. Khadija has mentioned, is it all right to make a t sound when pronouncing التاء, the answer is no, that's incorrect. So you don't say mustaqim. I know there's many people that do this. This is wrong. This is not a difference of opinion. This is wrong. We have to say atta. If we say atta, then we're adding the letter sin into this. So that's incorrect. And how much pressure we apply on ya shadda? Iyyaka na'budu. I'm not too sure what you mean, as in it's difficult for me to say exactly how much pressure, but it's tashdid, so some sort of pressure must be applied. The main thing is we don't say iyaka, and the opposite extreme is we don't say iyaka, something like that. We keep it moderate, everything in balance. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. I hope that was beneficial, and I hope that was useful. There's no more questions. So let's start this time with Brother Muhammad. If you can unmute yourself, and if it's okay with you, if you begin your recitation, and then I would correct some of your mistakes, if any.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Okay, repeat please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
The jim at the end, make sure there's no ch sound. Repeat again, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Excellent. I just want you guys to be aware as well, like with one of my teachers, I spent 5 months on Surah Al-Fatiha. 5 months. So just keep that in mind, that you don't get to higher levels without taking time. There's no rush, and as I say, nobody's going to benefit drastically in today's session. So just take your time, and this is a long-term process. JazakAllah khairan. Continue please. That was correct the third time. Shukran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Again, Bismillah
الرحمن الرحيم.
Good.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
نعم.
الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين.
Again, Maliki.
مالك يوم الدين.
It's sounding a bit passive, as if Maliki يوم الدين.
مالك يوم الدين.
Correct.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
One more time, please.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
I feel like there's a bit of ya and not ya. Repeat again, please.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
Good. Yep.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Again, please.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Okay, so the letter Sad, there was a bit of wow in there, so sweet. So ihdina swira, that's incorrect. Ihdina si. Repeat again, please.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Okay, better practice that, inshallah. And this is in terms of style, but you're saying ihdina sirata al-mustaqim. You're emphasizing slightly on the letter ta, so you're saying mustaqim. And this is not a mistake at all in that sense. As I say, I'm trying to, over time, we want to get to high levels. So one of the common mistakes that nearly everyone would be making, is emphasizing in the middle of words. Okay, so if you say al-mustaqim, it's like you're breaking up the word. It's like al-mus is one word and taqim is another word. So the emphasis should be at the start. So ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Mustaqim is one word. So I'm not sure if you've understood what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so it's like the number of the word, like.
Exactly. And so you did the same on nasta'in. So one may think it's wa iyyaka nas. That's one word. Wa iyyaka nas, and the other word is ta'in. But the whole word is nasta'in. Okay. Now repeat, please.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
One more time is better. One more time.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Sorry, I keep on making it.
You see, so if nobody mentioned this, you would never ever know. But once you start thinking, and this is for all the listeners, once you start noticing these things, you start to improve your recitation, and then over time, inshallah, will involve the meaning a lot more. I'll start explaining to you the meanings, and obviously the longer term plan is to then move on to the last 10 surahs, and then long term plan till death would be finish the whole Quran together. So repeat please.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Okay, so your mind is avoiding the ta. So you're not saying mustaqim, you're saying mustaqim. Did you see what happened there? So I focused my mind on the meme. So then I didn't make the emphasis on the ta because I said al-mustaqim. And that's fine. Why? Because it's the start of the word. So, we make, it's the start of the word. It's fine.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
Good. Just practice this. As I say, it's not overnight, so keep practicing, inshallah. Continue, please.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
No.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
MashaAllah. Repeat, please. غير
المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Okay, so the ghayn, the second ghayn, which is al-maghdubi, you need to make that fuller in terms of heaviness and make it clear, recite clearly as well. So غير المغضوب غير المغضوب.
غير المغضوب.
More heavy and more defined.
غير المغضوب.
Okay, so just listen to me again. غير المغضوب is very clear. Yeah.
غير المغضوب.
Better. Keep practicing. Also, there's another bit where it seems like your flow is being disrupted when you say alayhim and then you move on to wala dhalin. It seems like your flow is being disrupted. So just repeat again, please, the whole thing.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Better. Good. With the dad, it shouldn't sound like do or it's fatha, so your mouth has so it shouldn't be moving towards dhamma where you say do. It should be wala dha wala dhalin.
ولا الضالين.
Good. Practice, inshallah. As I say, it shouldn't move towards or. It should be wala. Your mouth should open slightly, but that's fine. It's difficult sometimes as well over Zoom to see properly. But Jazakumullah khairan, much appreciated, and excellent recitation. These
جزاك الله خير
few
أستاذ.
small things. Yeah, no, the few small things we just have to improve, but other than that, very good recitation. If you keep joining us, please.
Yes.
There were a few other bits that I didn't mention because we have to take things step by step. So keep joining us, inshallah. And next time I may comment on something else.
Thank you. I really
And
appreciate it. جزاك الله خير أستاذ.
so what did you say? Sorry.
جزاك الله خير. I really appreciate it, honestly. Thank you.
No problem. Pray for me, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. And we have the other brother Junaid. So please unmute yourself, and we'll finish with brother Junaid. تفضل.
Bismillah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Bismillah, please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, I'm going to make this point just for all of you to just think about. It's again this whole thing about emphasizing. We should emphasize in the right places and not in the wrong places. So, your recitation is clear, the tajweed. In terms of the emphasis, you're saying Bismillahir Rahman, Bismillah. So it's as if Bismillah is one word and Hir Rahman is another word. But as we can see, it's Bismillahir Rahman. So the ha, don't put too much emphasis on it. It should be more smoother in the sense that it shouldn't be Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It should be Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Just keep everything steady, balanced.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Good.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
One more time, please.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Again. I just want you to recite Alhamdu.
الحمد.
Okay. Yep. Now continue again.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Good.
الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين.
One more time, please.
مالك يوم الدين.
Yo, Maliki, yo. It sounds a bit like there's just something that's not 100% there. Maliki. So you're not saying yo, but then at the same time the yo, yo. Maliki yawmiddin.
مالك يوم الدين.
No, yeah. Okay, so the so keep practicing. It's fine. I just feel like there's something, and we can always address that next time. Okay. So one more time, please.
مالك يوم الدين.
نعم.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين.
Good.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم.
نعم.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
عليهم. A bit more. علي. A bit more of that.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم.
Good.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Sorry, ولا الضالين. I think stretch it a bit longer. And for learning purposes, one of my teachers, he says, you can be extreme for learning purposes.
And do you want me to stretch it longer? Sorry, did you say?
Yeah, stretch it longer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Shall I do it again one more time?
Yes, please.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Ameen. Good stuff. If you can repeat the last bit again, please. غير المغضوب.
غير المغضوب
نعم, continue please.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Ameen. Excellent, good stuff, great stuff. And Jazakumullahu khairan. We really appreciate your recitation. Alhamdulillah, is very good. You know, the main thing is, number one, there's no major mistakes. Number two is you know, it's on its way to a very high level, slowly but surely. And yeah, Jazakumullahu khairan for
Barakallah
participating.
fiqh. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
No worries. Jazakumullahu khairan. I hope you found beneficial, all of you. I think there's a question. Please help to differentiate the letters Sad and Sin in Kasra form when it is in the beginning of the word. So, for example, as in, yeah, whether it's beginning, middle, or end, I don't see. I'm not understanding what we're trying to get at. But in terms of the differentiation between Sin and Sad, is that the makhraj is exactly the same as we mentioned. Zai, Sin, Sad. So how can we differentiate? We differentiate in the heaviness. Sin is light and Sad is heavy. So we say, so you know, for example, just for your information purposes, in one of the riwayah, which is one of the modes of recitation, it's actually seen. So it's not sirata, it's sirata. So I'll use that as an example. Sirata, si, and if I said sirata, you can hear the difference. One is sirata, the other is sirata. Sirata, sirata. So I think you can notice the difference. If you can't, then I've got issues. But one is heavy and one is light.